My name is Rachel and I'm here today starting a vlog off, I think, which feels really odd because I haven't done that for ages. I am excited to be getting back into things and I've been managing to get back into writing, which has just been amazing. And so I wanted to start making YouTube videos again. Don't know how well that's going to go, but we're going to, you know, try our best. If you don't know, I had quite a big break from writing when we were in our other flat. There was a lot going on in general. Also, I just didn't like our flat as like a creative space. I didn't feel very creative there. I didn't feel like I could film videos there because it was quite dark and there was just a lot. And then we were buying our house and I got a new job. Like so much going on. At the minute, I'm feeling settled and better. And so I'm feeling a little bit more able to do things. So I got back into writing, I want to say October, but I don't think it was October, I think it was November last year. I got my beautiful computer, which I've always wanted a Mac desktop, but I have never let myself have one. Like by the time I was in a position where maybe I could afford it, lived in Switzerland, and then I came home, didn't really have a place where I was settled because it was at my parents'. Then I moved in with my then girlfriend, but we lived on a bottom floor flat with lots of windows and I didn't feel comfortable with it because it's an expensive item and I just didn't feel comfortable. So it wasn't until we moved here to our new house, we moved in September, and I was like, okay, I feel comfortable now. I can, like, it's upstairs, it's out the way, people can't see it, people don't know it's here. I have my anxiety about expensive items is a lot. So it's upstairs, it's out of the way and it's safe. So I could get one finally, and it was my 30th birthday. So it's something that I've always wanted. My mum and dad put some money towards it as well as like part of my present. And so yeah, finally got the computer. I was very, very happy about that and have, yeah, been getting back into writing, which has just been amazing. In terms of where we're up to, we're kind of trying to work on 3 things at the minute, which is crazy. We were working on 4 things. We've toned it down a little bit. I am hoping to publish a book this Christmas. I'm kind of doing as much as I can now to get the work done for that. It's a little bit crazy because it sounds like I'm doing quite well. I'm on the 3rd draft. Well, I'm not on the 3rd draft yet. I'm preparing for the 3rd draft. However, I don't think it feels like a 3rd draft to me. When other people talk about 3rd drafts, they sound like they're like pretty much getting to a good place and they're starting with like, they might be looking at line editing soon. That's not where I am at all. So the 1st draft was fine. I think it was a good 1st draft. 2nd draft was crap. I just did not know what to do, where to go, anything. Things have been done, but I wouldn't say a great deal. However, part of my issue was whenever I would try and redraft, I was trying to do everything. So I was trying to deal with character arcs and deal with plot and also put some descriptions in and make the settings better and also work on the line to line, and also it was just too much. So I had to really peel it back and just work on certain things. And so I can't even remember what I was working on. I think I added a lot, out some things, I put chapters in. I did do stuff, but it doesn't feel like I did a lot. However, it meant that I completed a draft, which I haven't done. So we're not going to be dicks with ourselves about it. I've done well. Coming on to a 3rd draft, I don't feel like I'm very much further than I was with the 1st draft, if that makes sense. However, it's fine, I could do as many drafts as I want anyway. 3rd draft we're working on at the minute. Had a little bit of a breakthrough the other day, which was a weird breakthrough. So I annoyingly read Story Genius. I'll put it somewhere. I mean, I do have it over there, I just can't be bothered just standing up to go get it. I read Story Genius, which is an amazing book. Really, really good. I started reading it physically because I have the physical copy, and then I saw the book was on my library app, I think it was, that I got it off, and so I was like, oh, that's great, I can read it for free, I can like listen to it on my way to work, that's great. Read the whole thing, complete regret, should not have listened to it on audiobook. It did mean that I read it quite fast and I feel like I've got a lot of the information. It also means that I weren't making notes, and while I was listening to it I was literally like, oh, I should write that down, oh, I should write that down, I should write that down, I really need to know, And so the whole way through I was thinking, oh, this is not working, and then I got to like the last 3 quarters and I was like, I'm gonna have to reread this book physically so I can make the notes, because this has actually been really crucial to where I'm at right now. All that to say, it was a great read, fantastic book, would highly recommend it, especially if you are where I'm up to. I think it It kind of is for more if you're drafting or before you start writing a book, because it's trying to like give you a lot of the advice to actually write a book and to get the plotting in place, to know where the story's going and why it's going that way and why a character would act the way they would act and emotional arcs and things like that. However, I'm finding that really helpful with the redrafting. So yeah, I would highly recommend it. What it has annoyingly made me realise is that I don't know enough about my book, which is really irritating because I'm like, I feel like I knew loads. I've done this and realised I don't. Yeah, so the stuff that was in there was just so obvious. Like, imagine you was writing a story and it's about like someone who has a lot of trust issues. Like, her big flaw in the book is trust issues, and the trust issues are because she was in a relationship where they had a really horrendous breakup because someone was cheating on her. You know that, and so you're writing the whole book with her having the trust issues, with all of that stuff, and you know it's from a breakup, you know it's from cheating. There we go, right, so when I'm doing the trust issue, So imagine knowing that, yes, you know the backstory. So with mine, like, I know what happened, but I don't know what happened. So for instance, like with the cheating, imagine you know that, and you know that's what happened, but you don't know how they cheated. How did she catch him cheating? Did she see the phone with the text messages? Did she walk in on them together? Did they only cheat once? Or was this something that was going on for months and months and months? Was it just a kiss, or were they sleeping with them? Do you know what I mean? How did they argue about it? Did the person take full accountability? Or did they direct it back and be like, oh, well, it's because you don't do this. It's because you don't do that. It's because you're boring. It's hard because this isn't stuff that happened to my main character. This is like family drama and like the backstory of her family. And I know what happened, but I don't know what happened. So this is the book that I had originally for this book, which is a notepad from so long ago when it had a different title that was like the cheesiest, worst title ever. And the title now is still really cheesy, but like it's a cheesy book, so it should be cheesy. It shouldn't be the level of cheesy that it was before. But anyway, the other day, I started doing a big thing all about it. So I wrote like a little bit of free journaling about character motivations and why there's issues going on, and then I wrote myself a set of questions all to do with that drama and how involved was my main character in that drama. Like, it's something to do with parents, the issues that happened. How involved was she? How much did she know if she was younger? Like, all that sort of stuff. And then also, like, I didn't know what they were called. I didn't know what parents were called because she calls them mum and dad. But, like, it's still important to know that stuff. And he's a pretty crucial character in the story. Done a lot of just free writing about that and about the past and about relationships and stuff like that. And I feel like that's really helping. And I went through the draft the other day because I have Scrivener. And so I went through the draft on Scrivener and just tried to, like, add some scenes in. So like one thing, I mean, it's not really a spoiler, it's like a throwaway comment, but one thing is that she is very into running, and she would have got into running because she wanted to get out of her house because of all the drama going on, and so she would start running. Realising that explains something that happens in the story, but I never knew. And obviously, like, it just makes so much sense. It's like a little jigsaw piece that's like, oh, that makes everything really fit into place there. That's perfect. I'm glad I figured that out. But if we're going to do that, we need to bring it back now. She needs to have some instances of going running. So I've added some, like, okay, you need to write a scene here where she goes running. Okay, we need a scene here. You know what I mean? Like, just trying to, like, build that through. So I think with the third draft, I've got a lot of added scenes that I want to put in there, and they are to do with some of this. Like I'm saying about the running, like there's someone who's going to meet in it who is a friend. I think I do have a good like cast of characters, and there's not too many, but there's not too few. However, believability wise, the main character should have one other person in their life who, like, I'm not really going to say much more than that, but they need another person. And so I'm kind of working on that at the minute. I'm working on fleshing them out and putting them through. Luckily, it's a character I already know. They're in another book already. And so, yeah, I'm just trying to, like, put them in, really. That's where I'm at the minute. I'm on the third draft, and I'm going to be working on that today. I'm going to be working on that tomorrow. Today, I'm fine until I'm going for a meal at like 5:30 with some friends from my old works. As long as I'm like done and start getting ready about 2:30, 3ish, that should be fine. And it's 10 to 11 now, so I'm really happy. Like, I've got a good chunk of time. Becca's already gone, she's going doing her MLT on the car, which is great because I have a little bit of peace and I can do some work, and I love that. And then tomorrow, I have all day tomorrow where I can just do writing stuff, and I'm very happy about that. Saturday, I'm going meeting some uni friends. One of my uni friends had a baby and we've not met him yet. We're all going down there. We were going to stay over, but I don't think we are now, so we're probably going to come back up. I think I will get some writing done on Sunday, but it's going to be a bit of a reset day. We're going to make sure we've got some shopping in. Like, we're both going back to work this week because I'm on school holidays, so we're going to make sure that we've got some food in, like maybe do some food prep, cleaning, just like, you know, set up for the week, that sort of thing. So that's kind of how my week's going. I don't know when I'm going to start this third draft. I want to actually sit and make sure I've worked this stuff out. I think part of my thing is I get a little bit like, you know, trigger happy with getting started. And sometimes I start before I should have started, and actually I should take my time and really figure out what I'm doing before I start working on it. That's the main bulk of what I'm doing. And anything else is kind of a helper. So the other thing I was working on, what I said I've kind of put on the back burner, was another book that I'm writing, also gay, but it's about football. And so because I've kind of really looked at it publishing wise and when I would publish and things like that, and that is in a series of 4 books, it would have been perfect for the Euros coming up. Obviously the Women's Euros, I mean, but it's not going to be done in time for that. Like, absolutely no way. We're not even a finished first draft yet. We have, I think we've done about 30,000 words. I'm in a really good place with it, and it's all like planned out and stuff, so I'm really happy. But yeah, it's like nowhere near being ready for a first draft being done, so there's no way it could be out. So the next sort of big thing is the World Cup. So I think in close succession, there's like the World Cup, the Olympics, something else as well. Might be the next Euros, or so, something else happens anyway. And then on the last one, I'm just going to do a round of like a Champions League final or something, in the hopes that City's in it probably. Because I thought that that would be a book I released next year, and then I started looking at tournaments and thinking, well, let's try and build it in when there's a lot of hyper in women's football. So I've decided to like back burner them. They won't be coming out till like 2027 anyway, like the first one. So I've stopped working on that first draft for now, just to sort of redirect focus to this one, YMMC. Then the other things that I'm working on, haven't started writing them yet, but they are my reader cookies. So I did the Sarah Cannon Publish and Thrive course a few months ago, and I really enjoyed it. I've definitely took like quite a few things from that course, and one of the things is wanting to try and build momentum around what I'm writing. So for instance, with YMMC, so the book I want to publish around Christmas is a Christmas book, so it's Christmas romance. I want to sort of have some like seasonal romancy short story things. So she talks a lot about reader cookies, which are like these little bonuses for your readers to try and like get them hooked and get them reading. Aim is to put a few of these out. So I want to do one for summer, one for autumn, one for winter, and then one for spring. The spring one not as much, but I just feel like if I've done those 3, I need to do a spring one, like just for me and my OCD. I need to have completed that 4 if that makes sense. But yeah, one will come out in August, one in like October probably, and then one at Christmas, so it'll come out after this book. But with all of those, the aim, they'll be short, very short fiction, like 2,000 to 5,000 words, very short. But the aim with those is to direct attention to this one. So because they're all seasonal, romancy, lesbian type stories, the aim is for at the end, you know, if you've enjoyed this book, I have a book coming out at Christmas, that's kind of the vibe with that. Those 3 stories are obviously also on the back burners. The summer one, I have a fully realised story and I'm just working on like fleshing it out, fleshing characters out, that sort of thing. And then the autumn one, I haven't worked out what happens, but I have worked out characters, settings, the vibes, like anything major. I just don't know the actual thing. Like I kind of know what's happening, but I don't know what it actually is, if that makes sense. Probably not. But yeah, I'm very excited about that one. That one's really fun. And so yeah, I don't know anything about the Christmas one yet, but those two I do. So I think my aim is to kind of work on the plotting and the realising concepts and stuff like that while I've got spare time, so I can do things like that on my commute when I have a bit of time, things like that. And then when I'm sat at the computer actually working, we're working on YMMC, and then when we get to the end of the third draft and we kind of step away from this book and give it some time, we'll try and first draft the August one, and then we'll go back to this, and then when we step back and have some time, we'll first draft the next, if that makes sense. Like, that's kind of how I am running with it. I'm really I'm having a good time at the minute. My commute is quite long with the new job. It's quite horrendous. However, I am doing my driving. I've passed my theory test. I've been having driving lessons, which are going quite well, but I'm doing them with my father-in-law at the minute just to kind of get used to being in a car. And then I'm doing like a crash course type passing a week course in August, which we've already booked. My test is like on the day at the end of that week, so that's in the first week of August. Hopefully, fingers crossed, by September when I start back at school, the commute will be majorly reduced. The school is further away than my other one, but I live right quite near the motorway, and it's like a few stops down on the motorway. So actually, if I was driving, it wouldn't be that long. It's just because I'm having to like get the train and stuff that it's a bit awkward. So at the minute, commute is making writing pretty impossible. However, that is going to change, and I'm trying at the minute to like involve it more. So like I was saying with the Story Genius, I purposefully have read that so that I'm still doing something, and I purposefully read on writing, which was a reread, but I still enjoyed it. And I think just trying to keep my mind on writing and focusing on it even when I'm on the train. So that's what I've been doing a lot with the drafting for the reader cookies ones. I'm finding that really helpful. And I think even with this, when I'm just literally like free writing backstory, I could be doing that on the train. That's kind of how I'm feeling with all of that stuff and where I'm up to. Today I'm just going to continue working on backstory and see where I get up to. I'm really excited because I got this ages ago. I didn't buy it, definitely. I feel like Becca bought it me. So she came back from the supermarket, and you know when they have like the reduced section, and they had a bag in it, and the bag had like loads of stationery stuff and highlighters, pens, it had a file, it had like one of those things that you put in a file but it's a wallet and you can put all your stuff in it, and then it had this big academic calendar in it. And she got it me ages ago, really early on, like it might have been during COVID or something. And I've been wanting to use it for ages, but it's August to July. But look at that, it's amazing. And I've never used it because every time I would find it and be like, oh, I should use that, it was always the wrong time of year. I'd always like find it in January, find it in like March, you know what I mean? Like it was never the time that I would use it. So purposefully, when we moved and I've seen it, I have left it out. And I have left it out the whole time because I feel like I'm going to use that this year. It will be really helpful because it's from August and I'm publishing a short story in August and I've got a lot of stuff going on. This will actually really, really help. I'm aiming to actually use it this year. It is going up and we're going to use it. And so yeah, I've got this is like my office. It's not meant to be, it's like our third bedroom, but it's quite small, and so yeah, Becca's kind of let me have it as an office for now. Yeah, I'm gonna get that up in here, and I really like made this what I want it to be with vibes and stuff and like pictures and all that sort of stuff. So this is a very like inspirational space and I really like it. I normally have my vinyl player downstairs as well, but I've moved it up here this week while I was working in here, and I've been listening to my vinyls while I'm doing my writing, and it's just like everything about it is just perfect and I love it. I'm gonna anyway stop talking and get some work done. I might go down and make a coffee actually, but yeah, I'm gonna get some work done. I might update you, I might not, but this will probably be a vlog that goes on for this week. So tomorrow obviously I'm writing, I said Sunday as well, and then yeah, we'll see where we go from there, but it'll probably just be this week anyway. so it is Friday 30th of May today, and I'm just trying to get a little bit more work done. So in terms of yesterday and what I got done, I feel like I didn't actually get that much done, which is annoying, but I did a lot of planning and like, okay, this needs to happen in May, this needs to happen in June, this needs to happen in July, this needs to happen. So I did a lot of that sort of stuff, and I did a lot of plotting for my reader cookie for summer. So I did do stuff. It doesn't feel much of me like making progress when it's to do with anything that's not my novel, because that's the one that I'm like getting stressed about. In my mind, I want it to come out in like the last week of November. Because it's a Christmas book, I kind of want to be getting it in time for like December, everyone reading, because I read Christmas books in December, but usually I read a load of Christmas books in the first like 2 or 3 weeks, and then it really dies off because I'm Christmased out. They start with the movies instead. Just I want to be mindful of catching it at the right time. And I know like with me, I used to get all of my Christmas books ready at the end of November and be like, oh, I'm going to read these in December. So like I'm just mindful of making it like a good time and really getting in at the start of that period. That's when I'm planning to bring it out, and I'm getting stressed. So like I said, 30th of May, so it's pretty much June now. So I've got June, July, August, September, October, November, because it'll be the end of November. So I've got 6 months, and I have a fully written draft. We're on the 3rd draft. You know what I mean? Like I don't need to stress, but I'm stressed. Yesterday I made like a big list of things I want to do in June to try and just make me feel a little bit better. So hopefully that's going to have helped. The reader cookie stuff is helping as well, because I feel like it's naturally giving me something that I can like switch off and do creatively, but also so it is helping anyway. So yeah, happy about that. But in terms of stuff that I have done, so today I've been listening to a lot of vinyls and having a great old time with that. I've been doing some scene cards. We're at the point now where I think we're going to be doing 2 scene cards for every scene, which is just ridiculous, but here we are. These are the ones that I was doing, which I can show you because this is kind of my outline basis of what I need to do. Thinking if a scene's active or reactive, knowing what scene number it is and what chapter it is. Does it start off high or low? So with that I mean like emotionally, are we happy? Are we sad? Are we angry? Are we, you know what I mean? Highs and lows for the start and end of each scene. That's just to make sure that it's not always the same like repetitive feeling and emotion going on. What act it's in, the date and the time. So this is really important because my book is a Christmas book, like it takes place in a very short period of time. I kind of know, but I don't actually know. And because a lot of things happen, I want to make sure it makes sense for all of that to have happened in that period of time. Putting the date on is really, really important for me at the minute. We've got a setting. This is quite important because I've kind of used a lot of the same settings, which I do think a lot of books do, and I'm just really like sensitive to it because loads of people use similar settings, but I'm just worrying about it. So we're trying to make sure that it's not just the same setting all the time. Protagonist and the antagonist, the scene goal, and then the scene conflict. So these are the scene cards I was doing because I kind of needed them to help me, you know, make sure everything was flowing in the right place, Then, as I mentioned, I'd been reading Story Genius, and they do some scene cards in there, and hers are really driven on the character and what the character's doing and why each event, like, this is the thing that happens in this scene, and so this is the consequence of that happening, and this is why it matters, this is what it makes the main character realise. And then you have this section that's like and so at the end, which is and so what's this going to either lead to in terms of like the character's thoughts, or what's it going to make happen in the next scene, which is helpful for me because I am trying to really make sure I've built in like a lot of backstory, and my character's mindset is so important in this story. And although it's a romance, I feel like the romance is pretty straightforward and would be amazing from the get-go if it wasn't for her and her mindset and what's happened before. Having that really crucial part of the plot really fully realised is important, and so that's what I'm trying to work on. So at the minute I think these scene cards are going to help as well. So I want the other scene cards because they're helping me with my timeline and my settings and you know what I mean, all that sort of stuff. And then this one is helping me more with my character arc and emotional arc and things like that. So now we're at a point where we're doing 2 sets of scene cards. Loving that for me. And then if there's anything that I think or anything like that, I'm just, because I work in Scrivener, I'm just putting it in the comments bar at the side at the minute and just being like, right, we'll deal with that later. I think edit 3 is going to be a bit of a dumpster fire and it's going to be very overwhelming. However, I'm hoping that I have enough of an idea of knowing what I want it to be that it's fine. That I'm like, well, I can work with this because I know what I'm aiming for. I know what the end goal is, if that makes sense. Crazy, so much to do, but you know, we're working on it. So in terms of what I want to do today, so I want to order some photos. So I use free prints. I use free prints. Well, I have used them for ages, but I was supposed to be doing this every month this year because this, right, so this is my planner, but I've kind of put everything in it and it's like been so nice. So it's got all of my goals for everything. So yes, it's got my writing goals, but it's also got like my activity goals and goals like we got a new house in September, so like goals to do with the house and goals to do with finance and like everything's in here because I kind of got stressed with things being in different places. So my whole life is in here at the minute, all my resolutions, which was a lot of them. So every month it has like a little file thing to start the month off. So on the opposite sides, like this is the January one, so on the opposite side for January I put loads of pictures on of things that we did in January. So we went to Slattery's, which is like a really great, amazing chocolatier place near us. We went to Nando's, I made a Dobby Lego, we walked up Pendle Hill, we had a coffee date, we got the hot chocolate maker thing, this is us at the football, like, you know, lots of like memories for the month. Did the same for February. I mean, this is an embarrassing picture, but it's me on a run. That, the book I was reading, this was a walk we went on that was really nice. This was a Valentine's present from my wife. I went to Manchester Art Gallery with my mum. We went to Fazenda for a nice family meal. We get to March, nothing. So, because it's like the end of the month, today I want to send loads of pictures off for March, April and May so that I can get some pages done for them, because I have been really enjoying doing that and I think it's nice like looking over my month and how it's going. And then the really nice thing is with these lists, it has like a thing on the other side where it's your to-do list for the month. So I've kind of been doing that. I would really recommend this planner, by the way, because it then has like the whole plan for the month and then it has your weekly. So they're actually amazing. I really recommend them. I got it from the Works and it was like a tenner. So yeah, if you are interested, great planners. I will be getting another one. But yeah, I'm on May at the minute. Goal wise, haven't hit a lot of these. We're working on it. Like I've got first draft of summer cookie. I only worked out 2 weeks ago that I wanted to even do that. So I feel like that was a bit of a ridiculous goal. I have been doing a lot of brainstorming and planning for it. So that's fine. Like I'm happy with what I've done. Text about the asbestos check. I really need to do that. But we're supposed to be getting the house rewired now because it's the not the summer holidays, half term. And we were supposed to be getting it rewired now. And he rescheduled, which meant that I put back texting about the asbestos check. So I need to do that soon, just because it's like an older house. It's like every time you've got an older house you have to do an asbestos check just in case, because they're rewiring, they're going to be like drilling in the walls and stuff. Today I'm just going to make my way through some scene cards. My wife's off work as well, so we're just chilling, but I'm really having a writing day, which I've made perfectly clear. So if she comes and annoys me, I'm going to be like, no, writing day. My list for today got a bit crazy, but the main thing is it was the order photos. That was a big digression, but order photos. Work on YMMC, which I could already tick off because I have been working on the scene cards. Work on summer cookie and work on my blog post. I'm going to leave this vlog running probably till Sunday because I think I'm at home and chilling on Sunday anyway. That'll be nice. So I'll update you with how today's going probably, and then yeah, up until Sunday. And then hopefully I will post a video for the first time in so long that it is insane. I can't believe it. Hella. So we are going to assume this is about right. I'm not sure, but we're going to assume. Saturday the 31st, so it's the last day of May today, and it's 7:45, so I'm hoping to start doing some work at 8 o'clock. I've made a brew. I'm feeling very like ready to do some work, so I'm happy about that. Me and Becca are going to Birmingham today to meet some friends. Already had a shower. I'm gonna let my hair dry, then I don't actually have to do anything with it. Yeah, it's quite good. And she said she doesn't think we need to leave till about 11:30. I think we'll probably end up leaving at 11, but I've got some time. So I think I'm gonna have about 2 hours or like 3 maybe, to do some writing, which I'm really excited about. So yesterday, it's really confusing actually. So after the filming clips and stuff, I did another like hour and a half, 2 hours worth of work. It was really, really good, but it was not what I thought it was going to be. I actually found the scene cards really, really difficult to do, and that was because I'd done the scene cards up to where the other scene cards were up to, so then I started trying to do 2 scene cards at once. A lot harder. I think I'm getting in my own head about it, but at the same time, I draft the way that she was talking about in Story Genius, where I will go scene by scene and be like, right, so what does that mean for this scene? Okay, so what does that mean for this scene? What does that mean for this? So I kind of have done that, and I think I'm stressing myself out when my scenes kind of already do that anyway, and I think I just need to actually spend some time with them and with what I know I need to do. So what I did was I put in first chapter on this thing called Natural Reader. Now it only does 5 minutes for free, so I did about 100 words. No, not 100 words, sorry, it wasn't that. It was probably about half of a scene. So my first scene's quite long, but I ended up with a page full of edits. They're quite good edits as well, so I added some edits. I did some edits in the doc as it was reading. Some of these edits are from that, and then some of them are from Scrivener. So with Scrivener, it's got like the comments box at the side, and I've been adding comments to it. I kind of can't do the same thing twice. So if I had a process of doing something, the next time I come to do it, I won't be able to do it anymore. So obviously my process was Scrivener and using the comments and editing that way. So now I can't do that and it's not working. So what I've done is I have wrote all of those edits down, and I'm going to like keep adding to it. I'm going to start editing that chapter when I go upstairs, because I know all the edits for it, and I know what we're editing for as well, like in terms of like backstory and stuff. I know what needs adding, and I've got a lot of that here. I've moved that chapter into vellum. The in-chapter edits I was doing as the thing was reading it, I've like done those edits, and then I'm going to do these edits, and I'm kind of just going to do it in vellum so that at the end my book's formatted, and then we'll just go from there and see what we're doing next. Because it might be that I try and get a proof from that and then get an actual physical copy to edit, which I think would actually be quite helpful, but we'll see. So yeah, I've got a good list of edits here, which I'm quite happy with, and they're not line edits, small edits, they're big edits, so I'm quite happy with what I've got to do. Like, it'll be difficult, I won't get it all done today, but these are the kind of edits where if I had done all of these, I would be up to line edits for the chapter, which is insane. Like, I'd be so happy. So I'm thinking that might be the way that I go of doing this edit for the third draft. I'm gonna just go chapter by chapter. So I've done all of my list for this chapter. I'll carry on listening to it and see if I need to add anything to the list, and then that's going to become my workable, they're the edits for the third draft. And then hopefully we'll do that chapter by chapter, and once we've finished that, hopefully be up to line edits, because the issues that I've got, I know that I've got already. I feel like that's going to help. And then obviously when we hit the chapters that are the added scenes, I'm going to try and write them as I'm going, because then if I've added a scene that's going to be scene 7, essentially, if you move things around. So by the time I've edited through scenes 1 to 6, I should be in the mindset of writing scene 7, because I know exactly where we're up to. I've just edited up to it, if that makes sense. So I think that's the plan at the minute. This is a random place for me to be, by the way. This is my front room, but Becca's still in bed, and I was leaving her to sleep because she's driving today. So I was like, I'll be nice, let you sleep. So that's why I was down here. So I'm going to go back upstairs, do some writing. I'm very excited about it. I don't really know how much I'm going to update anymore, or whether it's just going to be Sunday. So I'm planning to do some writing on Sunday, and that'll probably end off this vlog. I will let you know. Hello, so I'm hoping that I'm going to be in shot. I was filming a writing vlog and you're going to see this, so I don't know why I'm explaining it because this will be the end of it, but it is the weekend after and I thought I would just update you with how that finished and how my week went in the end. I pressed record because I was not ready. I filmed that video last weekend and I was editing it before and it's crazy because literally I just completely decide to change everything midweek all of the time and all of my goals throw off. Just kind of annoying. But yeah, at the start of that video I was talking about YMMC, scene cards and my reader cookies. So YMMC, I decided to start editing the first chapter and that's going pretty well. I did a lot of the backstory work for it before I started. I still think I could do with doing a bit more, but again, got trigger happy and just wanted to start. I decided to actually open it and start working on it in vellum as well. So by the end of this draft, I should have proper vellum formatted book as well. Obviously it'll need editing, but knowing that it's already in there and ready to get started will hopefully make me feel a bit better as well. So yeah, I've done that and then could have worked harder and done more of the first chapter, but I'll be honest, I wanted to work on the reader cookies. So that's kind of what I've ended up focusing on. In terms of those, I've been working on the summer one the most, and at the minute I now have 913 words, so I'm really happy with that. I've decided the POV has kind of been changing, but I've decided I'm going to bounce between two characters in it and as like little vignettes throughout the story. And I'm loving the way it's going. It's a proper cute little story and I'm very happy with it. The winter one, I've actually pretty much got going. I think I've wrote like 50 words, but only just like, oh, someone will say this at some point, not like actual words. Done a little bit of that, so I'm feeling more positive and happy that that's started. So I know my characters for that. I know the setting and timeline and all that sort of stuff. I'm just not massively sure on what's going to be like the dramatic thing that happens, you know, like the climaxy type, but everything's in place. So a bit like the autumn one, like everything's in place, I know what's going on, it's just like properly getting it started and knowing what's happening, if that makes sense. So yeah, I've worked on both of them, worked on my MMC, I've nearly finished them chapter 1 edits. That's pretty much all I've done this week, which doesn't sound like a lot, but honestly with the job and the commuting and everything, I'm really proud of what I have managed to do. And then obviously I'm editing this video today, which again is something I'm really proud of because I have filmed a lot of videos since not being on YouTube and just immediately disregarded them. Discarded them. And this, I nearly did it with this one as well because the lighting is just terrible and I need to sort it out. But instead I've just altered the contrast and stuff, so probably it looks a bit crazy, but at least I've actually put something up and I'll try and deal with the light situation later down the line. It's a little bit hard to have glasses, so I feel like everything like turns up on the screen if you like have a ring light or anything. That is something that I will deal with. But anyway, really happy with the amount of work that I've done this week. Hopefully I will do another vlog soon. When we get to summer, I feel like I'll be doing a lot. I've seen a TikTok where someone was saying like how much they actually get done because they sit at their desk for like half an hour in a week, but they're getting a massive amount of work done, but they're just never doing it at their desk because they're so busy commuting or like at work on lunch breaks and things like that. And I was thinking that is literally me at the minute. So I kind of just want to track it and see where am I doing this work and how much am I getting done and how much of it is just not happening at my desk. It feels a bit weird at the minute, but that's kind of where I'm at. So yeah, anyway, I thought I would just quickly jump on and film the end of this video so that I could upload it. So thank you very much for watching. If you got to the end, I have no idea how long it's going to be, but I think it's going to be about 40 minutes-ish. So thank you very much if you watched it till the end. Comment down below what you are currently working on or what you're writing at the minute. I would love to know. And yeah, I will see you in my next video. Bye!